Chapter 6 of the Buddy Files, The Case of the School Ghost. Chapter 6, Agatha Speaks. Michael lays the paper on the floor. Connor starts to set the jar down, but then pulls it back. The letter didn't say where to put the jar, he says. It doesn't matter. Put it anywhere, Michael says. Connor sets it on some letters in the middle of the page. Connor, Michael, and Jillian lay their flashlights in their lap. Then they all scoot in closer and place their fingers on the jar. What do we do now? Michael asks. We tell Agatha we're ready, Connor says. Okay, Julian says. How do we do that? Connor shrugs. I think we just call her name or something. He clears his throat and says, Agatha? Oh, Agatha. We're here. Are you here too? He looks around the dark room. The jar on the paper starts to move. Michael's eyes grow wide. Are you guys doing that? No, Jillian says. I'm barely touching it, see? She takes her fingers off the jar. Connor lifts his fingers too. Same here. I inch a little closer so I can sniff the jar. I smell paint and soap and mayo. No ghost. Off the paper, buddy, Connor says, shoving me with his elbow. I'm just trying to help, I say, but I back up, lay down, and rest my head on my paws. The jar stops over the letter I. Then the jar slides to another letter, M, Jillian says. Connor and Michael say the next letters with Jillian, H, E, R, E. Without the apostrophe, that spells out, I'm here, Michael says. Jillian pulls her finger away from the jar like it's on fire. Is that really Agatha? She whispers. Put your fingers back on, Connor says. It's moving again. Jillian returns her fingers to the jar, and the jar sails across more letters. This time, Connor says the words as they appear. Yes, it's really me. I think one of you is moving the jar, Jillian says. I'm not. I swear, Michael insists. He smells like he's telling the truth. I'm not either, Connor says. I sit back up. I think I smell a lie on Connor. Somebody ask Connor another question, I say, or ask him the same question. Ask him if he's moving the jar. My boy doesn't lie very often. Maybe I'm smelling something else on Connor, something that smells like a lie, but really isn't. Stop barking, buddy, Connor says. Maybe he's barking because he sees Agatha, Michael says. Everyone knows dogs can see things we can't. No, I don't see Agatha, I say. Shh, buddy, Connor says again. I lie down. I don't like it when Connor shushes me, and I really don't like it when I smell a lie on him. Okay, Agatha, Connor says, staring at the jar. Do you have a message for us? Y-E-S, Connor reads. What's the message? Michael asks. Connor, Michael, and Jillian peer over the jar as it starts to move again. G-O-T-O-T-H-E-F-U-R. Wait. Got what? Jillian says. The jar is moving too fast. The first word isn't got, Connor says. It's go. Go to the something. Are you sure? Michael asks. I thought it was got, too. Got other something. The jar stops. I have no idea what words the jar is spelling. Maybe one of us should write down the letters the jar stops on, Jillian suggests. Would that work? Michael asks. The directions say we all have to put 2 fingers on the jar. Let's ask Agatha, Connor says. He turns to the jar. Agatha, is it okay if only 2 of us have our fingers on the jar? That way we can write down the message. The kids place their fingers back in the rim of the jar. Y-E-S. Jillian shines the flashlight around the room. Hey, there's a chalkboard, she says, hopping to her feet. She goes over to the chalkboard. You guys read the letters to me, and I'll write them down, Jillian says, holding her flashlight in one hand and a piece of chalk in another. Okay, Connor and Michael say at the same time. Michael turns to the jar. We're ready, Agatha, he says. Tell us your message. The jar glides across the paper. Whenever it stops for a few seconds, Michael and Connor call out the letter, and Jillian writes it down. G-O-T-O-T-H-E-F-U-R-N-A-C-E. E-R-O-O-M. I think that's it, Connor says. The jar remains still. Jillian shines her flashlight across the message. She draws lines between some of the letters. Go to the furnace room, she reads. She turns to the boys. Why do we need to go to the furnace room? Furnace room? I know about the furnace room. That's where Maya hid the blue tongue and his friends 24 days ago. The jar's moving again, Connor says. Michael reads. Y-O-U-T-W-H-E-N-Y-O-U-G-E-T-H-E-R-E. Jillian draws more lines, then puts it all together. You will find out when you get there. Do you have any other messages for us? Connor asked the jar. N-O. I don't even know where the furnace room is, Michael says. Do you guys? I think it's in the basement, Connor says.